More, we're joined by Mike Baker. He spent nearly 2 decades as a CIA covert operations officer and is now the CEO of global intelligence and security firm Portman Square Group. Mike, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Mike, what does this summit signal to the West, and how should the U.S. and our allies respond?
Well, we don't have much in the way of a response at this point. I mean, all we can do is, as was just reported, is essentially monitor this. We've already talked around the edges of it. Secretary of State Antony Blinken had already made a statement saying, look, if North Korea decides to ink some sort of enhanced arms deal, because there have already been arms trades between the two countries, then North Korea will pay a price. But there was no definition of what that price is. And part of the problem is we've layered on so many sanctions already onto North Korea and also Russia since the start of their invasion that there's not a lot else to layer on. So I think monitoring is, at this point, is the game plan.
And Mike, we just heard Mr. Miller with the State Department talk about how this shows Russia going to North Korea with hat in hand. Does this show and demonstrate to you a weakened Russia?
Well, look, you never want to underestimate Putin's willingness to do things that don't make any sense out here in the West. But in terms of just from an operational perspective, yes, they've got a real problem. They've been depleting their military resources, their stockpiles, in particular munitions and some hardware, at a fairly amazing rate. And look, we are approaching, the winter season. And that means that just around the corner is the second year, right? I mean, we'll be through 2 years of this war. So they do have a problem. They don't have that many places to turn to at this stage of the game to replenish those stockpiles of munitions. And that is really the driving issue here between those two countries.
Mike, you talk about not many places to turn to, both North Korea and Russia, adversaries of the U.S. What does it mean for this summit? Why should we be concerned that these two are partnering together or appear to be partnering together?
Well, look, if they do, agree to some deal here, and again, there have been transfers already over the years, right? We don't want to imagine that this is something brand new. Mm-hmm. But if they do agree to some deal, what does that mean? That means that it gives Russia the ability to continue this, tragic misadventure that Putin is on in Ukraine, because it allows them again to reload their warehouses full of munitions. It also gives, hard currency to North Korea. But one of the primary concerns here is always the tech transfer, right? The potential for missile technology transfer, nuclear transfer from Russia to North Korea to help them enhance their own capabilities. And so that's top line. That's one of their biggest concerns.
Mike, I have less than a minute, but I have one more question for you. The summit is believed to be focused on working out an arms deal, like you just hinted at, between those two countries. What kind of recourse would we have here in the West, or the West overall, if North Korea does indeed send those munitions to Moscow, or if Russia sends nuclear technology to Pyongyang?
Well, at this point, based on past experience and track record of similar moments in time, it's essentially sanctions. And again, we've gone way down that road already. And so when you look at what else can we do, what other meaningful sanctions can you put on to North Korea, there's not that many options. And with Russia, we have more room. It's a bigger playing field in terms of things that we could do to discourage that type of action. But ultimately, at the end of the day, look, being very pragmatic, we don't have that much leverage in terms of influencing what negotiations and what deals these two countries make with each other.
But it's one that we know officials will continue to watch closely. Mike Baker, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.